last year or so, you both have been developing something unique, something disruptive and exciting. Cadence is finally here. How does it feel?
A lot of work's been put into the business. We've been talking about it for almost 2 years, I think. But I think also a lot of pressure. A lot of sort of people will expect a lot from us. You know, we've both launched businesses before. To many, those seem quite successful, and I think the bars are higher now. You know, the levels and expectations are there, and we take nothing for granted. We're excited for sure.
It's been a journey, and it's not even started yet.
So why go back to Europe? Why go back to the start and start to build a new brand here?
I think it's the excitement, and like I said earlier, it's about us already having the backing of our teams and the resource that we've built over the past decade between us. Starting something new with that behind us it's exciting, and it feels great to like go back down to literally zero. I'm sure you feel the same.
Yeah, it's a scrappiness. I love that. I think that sort of no plan B approach. You know, waking up in the morning now with a new brand, new business, doing things that, you know, we haven't done for a while, but we did it in the beginning. You know, like the garage, parents' bedroom stories where you used to just do everything between you and your co-founder, or you and your brother, for example. Like, it's kind of almost back to that, but a bit more different, I suppose. But I think it's that 0 to 1 phase that I love.
Even sitting between each other on a laptop at 4 a.m. on calls, it like feels so exciting, but so new to us, even though it's something that we've done in the past.
Tell us a bit about this brand. What is Cadence? How did it come about, and how has it been so far?
Yeah, I think, you know, naturally it came about because I was consuming electrolytes myself, you know, especially through, you know, my training has changed over the last few years, more traditionally bodybuilding, now more, you know, high rocks, longer runs, etc. So the necessity for sodium and salt has, you know, increased over the last few years, specifically around my training schedule. I think as you sort of scan the market and look for products that you want to consume, often gaps appear. And I think that's what I found. Nothing looked like Cadence, nothing tasted like Cadence, nothing had the quality of Cadence. And I think, you know, what George has done with his brand is often just elevated things that he can't find in his day-to-day wardrobe, for example. And I think that's what we felt. We both enjoyed different products on the market, but there was really nothing like this. And I think we scratched that itch, specifically with our first product when it's a ready to drink. You know, there was nothing like that, not at these levels of sodium.
Yeah, and for me, it's like I love bringing that elevated fashion aspect into everything I do in my life, and the way I can put that out to a consumer. If we can do that through other products and through things that we use every single day, like it's part of our life, why wouldn't we want to do that? Like everything I want to post is something that I want to make, and Ross is in that same mindset, and for us to be able to create something that's not actually already on the market in the space that's growing rapidly is like so exciting, isn't it?
Yeah. I think we're doing something truly unique, truly differentiated in the category, and it has a lot of scale. It can be scaled if we desire that.
When you first decided to start training, dedicate so much time to intensity to training, how did it start impacting you as a founder of a business?
Honestly, like at the start, it was hard. It was difficult. I would wake up, I would train, I would be in the office, and I would be asleep. I would have headaches, and I'd like 11 a.m. would be in meetings, and my head would be on the table. So it was like, how do I find different things and different ways that would help me be able to maintain my energy through the day, or even increase my energy through the day after training at such high intensity. And as my training got better, and as I started researching into what things would work, electrolytes was the main key. There was days where I would try electrolytes and nothing else, and them days I would have much more energy through the day. So putting that into my system pre, during and post workouts, that was like the key to me for being able to like maintain energy throughout the day.
Yeah, and we've been told for so long, like, drink water. You know, like drink X amount of water, or, you know, whatever it may be. And I think we've realized that water is actually not enough. We say that as a brand. And for a long time, electrolytes were sort of deemed to be these sort of high sugar replacement drinks when you were sick. So salt as an ingredient, as a commodity, has been so poorly looked upon. I mean, like, the concept of increasing salt and adding salt to your drink seems so obscure, but I think we're trying to, you know, really disrupt that and really educate consumers. Actually, you know, you do need to consume salt with first thing you wake up in the morning before your caffeine, pre-training, during training, post-training. And I think we'll start to see that grow, and hopefully it's through the impact Cadence can have on not only athletes, not only people running the marathon, but like every single person.
Yeah.
Medical worker, a nurse, a doctor, a teacher, whatever it may be.
And I've even seen that happen with my parents. Like even my mum just implementing electrolytes into her life you see the difference, and they know the difference themselves. But for us, it's like if we can put that out there and educate about it, because not many people know about this kind of stuff. And it's like, it seems so alien to a lot of people, which every single day people ask me like, why are you talking about salt? Why is salt on your story? Why is this? Why is that? And it's like, this market is so untapped, but it's such like a real thing that can actually help every single person that drinks it. So if we can be that person of spokes, should I say, then we'll do that. That'll be the brand.
It's funny because when we sit and we talk about Cadence, rarely do we talk about the business scale and the opportunity. And traditionally, when you're building a business, you should look at the category and the size of the category and how big year 1, 2, 3, 5, 10 can be. This is genuinely two people, I think, with a genuine respect for each other, that have both developed a love for building brands and businesses and implementing products in consumers' lives. Like, we wake up, we train together, we run together, we compete together. And I think what George said was like, it is just that at the beginning. It's like people ask George or myself, for example, like, what salt do you take? What do you eat? And why not bring people on this journey with you? If we've seen the benefit, let us entice you and also optimize your life through your own journey. So
it's about us finding these little hacks and these little growth moments for us and being able to put that to our consumer. If it can help everyone else, why not? And that product there that we've developed over the past like 18 months, it's completely new. It's not just another sachet that's on the market that's got sugar in it or tastes like a fizzy drink. Like, this is something that's just pure hydration, like, and the best form of it.
Yeah, I think it stems from, again, our personal journeys through both fitness and building a business. I think when I started paying attention to my health, my business grew. I think you were the same.
Exactly the same.
Like, how you feel, how you look, how you wake up, how you move, everything is a direct correlation between the outcome of your business, I believe. The glorification of like no sleep, eating bad food, but having a big fat bank account is gone. Don't get me wrong, those things are goals. They could be goals to anyone listening to this, but not at the expense of your health. And I think if you can combine those two and create the intersection of both successful companies, successful bodies, I think that's the future. And I think that's the new influencer. That's the new sort of person I would look up to. Someone able to build a great brand, touch a lot of people at scale, but also be fit, running marathons, doing high roxes, whatever it may be, just looking after the body. And I think
it's duality. It's the yin and yang. It's being able to do both things. I think that's what really like excites people who look up to it. It's like if this guy who's running a business, having a family, and still competing at an athletic level, like, that's so interesting, because usually you're one pillared, one dimension. You've not got all these different dynamics going on in your life. So like, seeing people come up and do this kind of thing makes you realize that you can do it too.
How does Cadence reflect this mission of building a lifestyle for your clients, not just cooks?
I saw it come about with like what I did with 247, and that opened my mind and everyone in my business to realize that, like, okay, we're not just a fashion brand. We can go into activewear, we can go into training plans, we can go into routines, we can go into supplements. Like, that there gave me the realization and the open mind to see that Represent can be this umbrella that holds a lot of other things underneath it, and they can be brands under the name Represent, or they can be brands outside of the name of Represent. And if we can build them under the same fundamentals and the structure that we've built the brand in, then I want to do that with the right people. And look, I've had a million opportunities to do other brands all the time where we get that shit. But like, I met Ross a couple of years ago, and the way we bonded and connected and the way we are and how we are with each other day to day and like what we do together and how we train together, like, we're like the same person. So I was like, okay, this is the right thing to do. When
he's faster than me though.
A little bit. When he approached me to do something in this space, which is something I was so passionate about, I was like, this has to be the right angle to take it.
Yeah, I think a couple things, and I think it's the tenacity and the like determination of just, nothing but winning. I don't believe that second place is the best. I believe in first place. Often people will say, it's okay to be number 2 or 3 in the category. I think George shares the value that it's like kill or be killed. And it might sound extreme, and it is extreme to some extent, but I think when we go for a workout together, like we're competitive, and being able to bounce off each other in that element and seeing someone who also wants to win fairly, but also like wants to win. And that's important in business, like, you know, especially when you're risking a lot of, you know, upside in financial investment and time, you got to win. You know, that's important.
We've built businesses as well, like on opposite sides. Like my business is all D2C, so I'm learning from Ross. Ross is learning from me. We're kind of bringing two worlds together to create something that can also go into both of those worlds. And although it'll start as D2C, we'll obviously trickle it out over the future, won't we? Where we'll see that
channel
expansion.
growth. I think on that, I think it's just that pulse on the culture, the pull effect. For me, a lot of my past has been like selling the product. Hey, Walmart. Hey, Whole Foods. Hey, Air One. Hey, Starbucks. Buy my product. Here's the reason why. Where George has been able to build this sort of zeitgeist on the culture of like, this is how I move and people follow. So I think when you look at any business, you look at the holes, you look at the opportunities, you look what plates you want to spin yourself. And I think I think you've had this experience before, is like we don't really overlap in a massive element. I'm very focused on, you know, several things that will move the ball forward, and George is also focused on other things that are going to move the ball forward. And there's a lot of respect there, no ego and no interest in sort of participating in what each of us are best at. Like there's nothing other than just, I think, two people who love the space, who love building and just want to build something together.
So you both have built successful companies and have experiences in the arena. What are some of the lessons you're bringing with you into this new business?
I think we've actually learned a few on the way, especially with like IP. And there's been a few hiccups even pre-launch that we've had on this brand that we have learned things from in our older brands. And like carrying those mishaps and those, I guess, trials and tribulations forward will help us really scale this thing at a level way faster than what we have done in the past. Like Represent took nearly 10 years to even grow to a level worth talking about. But through all them years of like learning different paths and different projects within the business, we kind of have a little bit of a foot in the door of knowing what we want to do and where we want to go with it. So that definitely helps.
Yeah, and I think just the two of us are set up here, but in the background there's like a full team building, running, helping to scale this thing, get it off the ground. You know, it's not George and I alone. There's a bunch of individuals with a joint mission and passion behind what we're building that are also helping. So I think that importance of team, in the beginning you try and do everything yourself. You also probably have to do everything yourself because you don't have the capabilities to hire people. You haven't launched, you haven't sold, there's no revenue streaming through the company. But in the background today, there is this engine that we have in place between all of the team to really sort of catapult this business. So I think just the importance of team, you know, stays super true.
That's what's excited me the most about it, that we've got like a base behind us, that we can be doing what we're great at and they can be doing what they're great at, and we can bring that all together and really push this thing when it first launches. Whereas like Ross said, when we first started our brands and it was one or two people, and you're running around doing customer support and shipping and logistics and manufacturing and then design and all that thing, like we've got them fundamentals nailed with this one. So it's like straight off, here we go, first product, then we'll go faster and faster as we go.
Yeah, I mean, we were sitting in George's home here in LA and it was a completely different product that we were going to launch with. The mission and the umbrella stayed the same, but I think the concept of a ready-to-drink electrolyte seemed almost impossible because during testing, what we wanted to achieve, and we weren't willing to settle for anything less than, you know, what it is today. So like the low dosage electrolyte drink, it doesn't excite us. It's not something we wanted to put out to our consumers or the market.
Yeah, in a big plastic bottle.
Yeah, it just didn't make sense for us.
Yeah, and we wanted something new, something exciting on the market. We don't want to go out and do the same as what everyone else is doing right now. Yeah. Like that's not what we do. Both between us, that's not what we do. So we had to come up with a way that this would happen, and eventually that just struck and it became apparent what it was.
This was just like, let's launch a drink and here it is today. But from the name to the product to just coming together, we've had to be super nimble. And I think whatever your plan is on day one, just be willing for it to be changed. Like if anyone here wants to start a business, launch a company, just the ability to just say like, oh, that door's closed, on to the next one. Like it is something super important, and this company has changed a lot over the last year and a half.
Even from IP to design to factories, to going visiting the factories, to then testing product, to then sodium levels affecting your product, to like every single thing down to the last detail of the website ready for the launch. Like there's so much that goes behind it, and even us as business founders that had been in this for years and years, we were naive going into this, and that's why it's taken so long, I guess.
Yeah.
But we're ready now.
What is the ultimate vision for Cadence?
I'll answer briefly. I think for me it's not finite at all. I think that's what excites me, is we don't fully know yet. I like scale. I like to, put products in a lot of stores. I like to grow businesses. I love hyperscale, but this one's a little bit different. I'm learning from George and the team about that sort of demand impact, that sort of sold out approach. It's a little bit different, and I'm excited about that. The goal for us is to create a successful company and build a great business. And
I also don't think there is a ceiling on it. Like a few years ago, I thought there was a ceiling on what my brand was, and I didn't think I could go into different categories because it was outside the realm of fashion. But like, once you start doing those things and you realize there's different areas that you can grow in, and like you can still bring that same consumer into them areas if you educate them or you inspire them. This is just another one of those. And if this thing ends up being a huge supplement company, or it ends up staying just salt and it stays niche and it carries on educating people on this one ingredient, then we're happy either way, right? And we don't know where it's going to go. I don't like to plan anywhere more than a year in advance anyway.
What is this first product?
First product is our citrus flavor, 0 calorie electrolyte hydration, and it's jam-packed full of ingredients, 500 milligrams of sodium in a can, which seems a lot, but it's what we've seen to be the optimal amount for our lives, but also what we think is for everyone should have. First thing in the morning when you wake up, before training, during training, post-training, whatever it may be. A lot of products are very low in sodium, and we've jam-packed this to be really beneficial.
No one's done this yet. The amount of time and resource that's been put into making a can that's got such a high sodium level is really difficult, and it's something that's not been done, and I guess that's why. Originally we just thought we could just dump a load of salt in a can and it'd be fine, but it's not, and it requires a lot of testing and a lot of different elements into it to put it into this thing, but we're here now, so we're ready to go with it. Ross has got a lot of time to put behind this, and I'm coming behind this with my team already. Like, I'm bringing my represent team into this business, because for me, like, to get to a certain place, I need them guys that are behind me. So being able to do this with Ross, but also knowing we've got the backing of that engine of what represent is like, it's calming as well as it is exciting for everyone involved with it. And just being able to bring people into things, like, and I know that's with you with your last business, that's the fun of it. You realize it's not about you, it's about the team that's involved. And with represent, like, I never documented the first 10 years of it. Like, we took a load of clips and made a little documentary after 10 years and realized that what people want to see is really the start. They want to see that 0 to 1, right? They don't want to see the 10 to 100, because that there is easier than getting from 0 to 1. So what we're doing here is really documenting every single aspect and detail that goes into this, and both from Ross's aspect, from my aspect, and we'll put that all together and kind of use that as an educational piece as well as what the actual product is in terms of education, isn't it?
So that's why we're here today. That 0 to 1 phase, a lot of people are asking questions like how to, and I think part of our job is to try and educate and try and bring people on that journey. The 0 to 1 phase that you talked about is the hardest. It's where most people stop. It's where most people trip up. And getting to level 2 to 10, you start to feel that momentum. But there's days where 0 to 1 just feel impossible. So, the fact that we're here, we're going to document it, we're going to bring it on the channels, we're going to try and inspire people to get up in the morning and see what lights them up, because this is why we get excited to build stuff. And we're super excited to launch the brand.